It was really cool how the steam, everything came out. That was good. That was a great play. Hi, I'm Anton from the Saunaheater, and today we're going into the heated conversations, and our topic is going to be about the insulation in the sauna. And here I have my friend Veeti.
Hi, my name is Veeti. I'm the founder of the Saunaheater, as many of you know, and today we are actually doing some live sauna going. We will be discussing the sauna as well as the insulation and what are our honest thoughts on insulating a sauna. Should you insulate your sauna? If you should, which parts should you insulate? What kind of difference does the insulation make for the saunas? And that's going to be the topic today while we do our sauna painting here.
And then we have also
Ted. I'm from HUUM.
So that is our guest at the Heated Conversations today from HUUM.
He's a guest at Heated Conversations, but we're a guest at HUUM today.
We're a guest at HUUM, so we should say that this is not our own sauna. We are at HUUM, visiting HUUM today in Estonia, our friends here. So thank you for HUUM for hosting us, as always.
Always pleasure.
Anton, what do you think about insulation? So it's a very common question. Should you insulate your sauna or shouldn't you, and when should you do that? And let's start from there. I think that's a good starting point.
I mean, yeah, definitely if I could choose, I would insulate more than not at all, but definitely at least the roof, I think is important. But like something I wouldn't insulate is the floor. It doesn't make any sense just because, it's not going to make sense. The heat goes up, as you can see, you throw water on the stones, that all the moisture and humidity goes up, and definitely the roof is the biggest point, and floor is definitely not necessary. But I would insulate more than enough. That way, that it's better. What do you think, Veeti?
Yeah, so my honest thoughts on insulation are that if you live in a warm climate, it's not necessary to insulate your sauna at all. When you do the insulation, if you think about the importance of insulating different parts of the sauna, the roof is the most important part to insulate, because over half of the heat loss is going to happen through the roof. And the reason is hot air lighter than cold air, so hot air is going to rise up, cold air is going to plummet to the bottom. And when you draw water, you can see all the hot air, and all the hot air from the heater is going to rise up. So the heat loss is going to happen through the roof if it happens. So if you want to insulate, the roof is the most important part to insulate in terms of energy efficiency. Then it's obviously the walls, and the floor is the least important. I would never really insulate my floor in the sauna. And I would say that in commercial saunas that are used much more than residential saunas, I would say that the insulation is much more important. Because obviously if you run your sauna 8 to 10 hours a day, even more, then it's going to make a difference in energy efficiency whether you insulate or not. But if you have a residential sauna, you run it few hours at a time, I wouldn't say that the insulation is so important. Once, I have an interesting story actually. We went to my friend's sauna in Riistavesi. It's a smaller place in Finland, middle of the countryside. It was minus 30 Celsius outside, so that's this many Fahrenheit. We had this wood-fired sauna heater, and there was a little bit of a water compartment above the sauna heater. There is these things that you can install to your chimney, and there was water left there, and the water was frozen in the water compartment. And the sauna was minus 30, and it wasn't insulated when we started heating it up. Of course, it took a long time to heat it up, but it still worked. So I would say that's kind of a story regarding insulation, that even uninsulated sauna can work in any place, basically. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I think so too, and to be accurate with the water in the sauna, basically it's like a water reservoir you have, that you heat up the water and then you can use that to wash yourself in the sauna. It's pretty traditional to have it that in wood-fired heaters, and Finnish saunas always that really would go back to the days that everyone had a wood heater and then a water heater next to it, and then you would use that to mix with the cold water you get from the lake, and then you wash yourself.
Something that comes to mind when I talked about not insulating the floor is that if you have a sauna that is cold every time when you don't use it, and you have a cold climate like we have here right now minus 8 Celsius. So then if you would have a concrete floor or tile floor that would not have the floor heating, it would not have insulation or whatever. These cold materials, like stone materials, they are very good at reserving the cold into the floor. And since the way that saunas work, so all the heat is going to rise up, cold air plummeting to the bottom. If you have this kind of sauna, it's winter, and your tiled or concrete floor is super cold. What's going to happen, even if you heat your sauna multiple hours, is that the floor is never going to actually get warm. So then it's going to kind of breathe this cold air to your buttocks when you go to the sauna. so that's something. That's more about the floor construction side, but the insulation doesn't really help to that, because if the sauna would be cold anyways,
just a few degrees different, it would be still cold.
Yeah, but it's just something to really think about when constructing the floor, if you have cold winters like we have here.
But if you have this concrete floor
it's good to use like a wooden boards, so you don't feel the cold. It's still cold outside, down under,
definitely.
but it's
like the wooden cladding is going to basically block a little bit of.
Yeah, the wood is good because it takes the heat in really easily. Glass never gets really hot, or concrete never gets hot. If it does, it's really hard to make it hot. That's why the wood is really absorbs the heat easily. That's why you see all the saunas there have the wooden walls, benches, and
Yeah, because that's how heat becomes very equal in a sauna. So wood absorbs the heat quickly, and then it's also going to release it back to the sauna environment. So if you have a good sauna, you have wooden sauna, proper ventilation, good heater, then when you close your eyes in a sauna like this, you can't really feel where the heat is coming from, because these wooden surfaces are also releasing the heat towards you. Let's talk about the heater. Which heater we have here?
yeah. So I think we have the HUUM steel. Which size is this one in here?
yeah. This is the 9 kilowatt version.
Okay.
So the bigger one. We also have the wall mounted smaller one, but for this size of the sauna, the 9 kilowatt is good fit.
Yeah, it's perfect even with the glass window and the glass door too.
Yes.
Yeah, and this one had, I think it was 330 pounds of stones, like same as the Hive Mini.
Around there.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't follow the
I don't have
system, so
kilos,
it's
yeah.
150
Yeah.
kilos of stones.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I was actually surprised how good steam you can get from this one. Yeah, because of the high amount of stones.
Yeah.
It was actually only a couple of weeks ago I visited it the first time in an actual sauna, and it's pretty amazing. You can pour a lot of water and you just can't kill it.
Yeah, you can see it's pretty full on the steam that
We
comes
would
from
pour
it.
a lot, but we are trying to save the camera. And our cameraman, you can't see him behind the camera, but he's clothes on, so never use your clothes in the sauna, by the way.
That will be a different topic.
And something we can look into is that we have the heat reflector above the sauna heater, because the distance from top of the stones to the roof here is so...
Yeah, it's smaller than you would need in the requirements, so
that's
that's why
why
that kind of protects it from
trying
going
to
to the
reflect the heat.
combustible material. Yeah.
And we also here, like that's a common topic asked from, we have the control panel. This is the glass control panel. We have it inside the sauna, but it's down below. It's very near the door. But HUUM is currently recommending, they're not recommending, but now they allow actually placing the control panel if you have, especially at least if you have the glass one, you can place it inside. As long as you are not like stupid and place it somewhere here, where it would absolutely melt. So
Yeah, I think the rule was, I think, a meter from the ground you can place it. If you go higher than that, then if anything happens, it's not going to be covered under warranty. So
we
you
can
don't
put
want to
the
stress about that. But
we can put the exact rules.
yeah, we'll put that
on the
exactly.
screen. Don't have the manual here.
Yeah.
And what else do we have? We had thermo aspen benches.
Yeah, I think they're pretty nice, really smooth.
Yeah, really smooth, and really wide bench. I think this is 24 inches.
Yeah, I mean, I can just go here and,
Can easily lay down.
really just spread my legs and just enjoy it, really.
And those are our thoughts on the insulation part as well. So I think we will throw a bit more water now, and
We'll let you guys go and we'll enjoy our own sauna going now.
yeah. So see you in the next episode of Heated Conversations. Yeah, so we definitely ramped up the humidity a bit and kicked Jim out so he doesn't have to be sweaty in the next video.
Look at this.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's steam. It's not burning. This could be the thumbnail for the Heated Conversations.
Yeah,
Steam.
yeah, with a lot of stones you can get a lot of steam. The heater just doesn't run out of power. So yeah.
Yeah, it was
Good stuff.
it's hot, more than hot than enough, really.
Yeah.
I always had to run out before them, but luckily they came at the same time.
And if you wonder why we use the sauna hat, it's because head is your thermostat, and you have the most small veins in your head, so you don't want to heat your head, you want to heat your body, because there is no health benefits of heating your head actually. So that's why people have the sauna hats on like this, because this insulates your head inside the same temperature zone. So then you can throw more water without like killing your head.
And it keeps like the air, will be cool air at the top of your head, so your head actually stays cooler too because it's air pocket here.
Exactly.